scheduled meeting for June 17th, 6:06. We'll begin the meeting with pledge allegiance. Tyson, if you could lead us off, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for everybody showing up. All right. Item C, approval of agenda public comment offered. We have one person signed up, Kathy Vanderwall, for personnel report. That is it.
Approval of the agenda.
Yeah, approval of the public comment offered by. Is that your motion?
Approval of the agenda public comment offered prior to agenda vote. Yep. Approve the agenda.
Motion by Diane, seconded by Melissa, to approve the agenda as submitted. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to item 2, superintendent report. Dr. Razor?
Yes, we have quite the agenda in front of us this evening, and it kind of dispels that, well, you guys must not do anything in the summer. We've got a lot of policies, as you can see. Member Bridgman asked, I thought we were getting caught up, and we are, but then they dropped 45 on us. So
because we were behind to start with. So.
Yes, we were behind to start with. We have got some personnel moves coming up this evening that I can't explain later, but I wanted to talk about decisions we make are for the good of the students and for the good of the corporation, and really looking long term. So when we look at these, the other thing is I want people to realize this is something that we do fairly commonly among grades. It just so happens that some of the moves that we're making this summer are from school to school among grades. But as I've shared with many folks, for the long-term stability and strength of the district in making those moves. I was also asked to clarify something during my superintendent's report, because if you go to our webpage, it will say that our office hours in the summer are from 8 to 3. That doesn't mean that our folks are only working from 8 to 3 in the summer in our offices. There's a lot of filing, a lot of sorting, a lot of inventory that gets done during our summer hours. And we didn't want people feeling obligated that even maybe they're working 6 to 4, that they had to have the doors open at 6 to answer, or later into the evening if they're flexing their hours like that. So the hours of business were people coming in from the outside who need to do things in our schools or in our offices, especially for the next month and a half. The office hours are 8 to 3 for the offices. And anything else that comes up, I will address in the reports and the agenda items as they move forward through the evening.
Clarification for the public and for us, the office hours is for all of our buildings the same.
Well, right now, our 3 elementary schools are closed for the summer until the end of July, and we have our high school staff there as well, and they are 8 to 3.
And our corporate administrative office follows the same 8 to 3?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to board reports. Tiffany, you have anything?
No.
Don, do you have anything? No. Diane?
Well, we had a marathon policy meeting for 3 hours. As you can see by everything on the non-action items. So we have a lot of them coming up. I know we've got some things we want to talk about or highlight individually as we're talking about those, but it was very nice to have the Neola representative there. We had a couple administrators as well that Dr. Mike invited in regards to the cell phone policy that's mandated by the state to troubleshoot that. So I just encourage all board members to look at all those. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. Because it's all 7 of us, so.
Okay, thank you, Diane. D136.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Melissa, do you have anything?
I do. Dr. Mike and I have been talking about the school supplies. We had a meeting with all of the principals. We are looking at getting the list brought down for all elementaries and for the high school. And then I think we're going to make a supply hub over at the high school. Thank you, Mr. Brooks and Mr. Gonzi. I did hear Mr. Gonzi's going to be put in charge of that because he's very well organized. I don't know if he told you that yet, but any donations as far as school supplies, that will be our main hub for all of the K through 12. And I think we're going to utilize some of the students to put some of that stuff together. So we're going to, this year, everyone will still buy school supplies, but we are getting that list down. But our vision is supplying school supplies for K through 12 next year. That's it.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So the extension homemakers in the past, for the past 20 some years, have always given backpacks designated to every grade, packed for every grade, every elementary school. So what is the inventory that's still left over in all of our buildings for those? They're going to do that again this year, but I think this might be their last year
Okay.
of doing that, so that we know what that is.
So right now, I know all the principals are going through everything that they have in the schools right now to see what leftover things that they have. Then we will get all of that over to the high school, whether it's me or whoever wants to help. Everybody, please do. And then we will get all of that over to the high school. So anything left over, then we will start making kits for everybody for all grades.
Because you're going to have a lot of backpacks, because every year they do new backpacks every year in grade specific for every school. So
with all of their supplies inside of it.
Yes.
Correct.
So,
which we can just take all of that stuff out and then just categorize however it needs to be.
I just didn't want that
I'm
stuff
sure
to get
Mr.
lost.
Gonzi will be able to figure all that out for me.
And
See
I think to add on to that, we have many generous individuals and organizations and churches that donate. We want to coordinate around that and make sure that we're not getting, a ton of crayons and then no safety scissors or anything like that, and really coordinate, make sure that everybody has what they need, and also try to take the burden off of parents if we can, and especially then also maybe make the kids and the parents who struggle to fill that list not feel less than as we're working through it.
In which, since he just brought that up, so anybody that we're doing donations from, we're doing all Crayola. So then that way it's all the same thing throughout. So no off-brand crayons or markers or anything like that. So then that way, because one of the principals did say that they wanted the Crayola. So we're making sure that everybody has the exact same thing. Everyone will have everything that they possibly need for K through 12.
And you're open to hopefully get this accomplished for 2027, 2028 school year?
Yes. So we will start working on getting everything together, start putting the supply room together, and start getting donations, any donations, money donations, anything like that. So then that way, if we have to, we'll call suppliers. I do have a list from Sarah Funston of some of the people that have donated. So I start reaching out to those people that have donated. So if anybody wants to help, let me know.
Well, the nice thing is we have a good year to work on it, but then clarifying to parents, now, because when we had that discussion in our finance committee meeting about Lincoln has third grade a list, but Lake has a totally different list, and Akko has a different list. But they're all in the same grade. So trying to coordinate all that with the donations will help streamline some of that, which will be nice. And then it cuts the cost for the parents, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Great. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Samantha, do you have anything for board reports?
Just to piggyback off of Mrs. Gonzi, we did meet for 3 hours last week, Thursday. I virtualed in. Neola was there. It was very nice to be able to hear Dan's voice for the first time, being on the board and actually being able to work with him. For those of you who know, policy is like my niche. I like to dive into all of that. I'm a nerd when it comes to it. So I enjoyed all 3 hours of listening to all of the different upcoming changes with the new 40 to 45 revised policies that we went through. I do want to give the board an update. We were updated from Neola that the cost from Neola is going to be going up. And unfortunately, the state of Indiana had over $250,000 more in legal fees than it was Wisconsin and Michigan, I believe, combined. So that's part of the reason why prices are going up. One policy was that I wrote down, let's see, 30-day hold. I'm blanking on why I wrote 30-day hold. But we do have to revise our teachers' contracts. We can no longer list like the hours that are coming down the line. We have to do that according to state policy that's changed.
That has to be in the handbook now.
Yep, and it's got to be
The
added to the
unified,
handbook.
I'm sorry, is that going to be in the unified handbook as a
Yeah, we
separate
discussed we'd make a
page?
teacher job description also.
Okay.
So we're not going to have a separate teacher handbook. It's going to be in the unified,
It'll be in the
that
unified,
section.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's also some changes coming down as far as the probationary teacher contracts between first year and second year, and actual professional regular teachers contracts, along with the emergency teacher contracts, and then the evaluation process. The state has things on evaluation laws, and we need to make sure that if we revise, we make it clear where each teacher stands as far as highly effective, and down the line. But yep, 45 policies. It was fun. And the biggest one was the new cell phone policy, which is coming. And we did have Mr. Gonzi and Mr. Brooks step in because a lot of it's going to be affecting that building, even though we do have kiddos in the elementary school levels that have phones. But we wanted the ones that are going to have to be ground level, first line of defense enforcing it, and we were able to talk some things through. I thought it was a very good, beneficial conversation, and hopefully we don't have too many ticked off parents when it comes down to
State
it.
law.
But it's state law, so we have to do what we got to do. So that's my board report.
Excellent. Tyson?
I just wanted to say a huge shout out, congratulations to the North Newton girls softball team for another stellar season. Mr. Greider shared in our group me that, and it says it best, North Newton softball has set the standard. Now it's time for the rest of the sports to take that torch. So I'm just proud of these girls, proud of the parents. You guys are raising amazing children, and team's young, and it's going to be a fun ride for the next 2 or 3 years. So hats off to the girls and the coaching staff, and can't wait to see what the future brings. So congratulations to those young ladies.
Excellent. Anything else, Tyson?
But,
All right, thank you. For me, first thing I want to do is apologize to the public and to my board. I'm not getting the agenda to you in a timely fashion. I will strive with Dr. Razor and the officers to make sure that that is cleaned up in the future. Second thing, I want to also shout out, and Tyson and everybody else that knows us, the golf did pretty well, I guess. And I said that to them, but they finished fourth or third in sectionals and have increased their stuff. So, I mean, they did good. I was very happy to see that. Bowling did something you were telling me about.
Yeah, I think it was junior high bowling.
Yeah, junior high bowling did very well. Tennis, how far did tennis go?
They were doubles sectional champions.
Yeah, so I want to
Girls.
shout out for them too. It's because all of our sports and our student athletes have done very well this spring sports. So I want to congratulate all of them. Finance committee, we had our bi-weekly meeting. We're looking to close our 2025. I'm hoping in the next week or so. We had budget processes that we're starting. We met with the principals. We've met with the department heads, getting some good feedback, looking exciting moving forward so that we actually can start approving a budget that they then can start spending the money on and not have to worry about the Mother May I process that's been going on here for years. It'll be good for the school. We'll know what our finances are. They'll know what they can spend their money on, and it will be a hopefully seamless process. Probably not, but hopefully in the first year it will. So we're looking forward to that. We're hoping this year's budget, we'll be able to submit it to the state, and the board will be working on that over the summer and finishing it up before October, November timeframe. And that's all I have. Moving on to recognition, retirements, recognition by Dr. Mike.
Yes, and we are so pleased that both of them decided to show tonight. We have folks who put their heart and soul into their job for years with us tonight. We have Annie Rowan and we have Karen Mazzora. Would you both please stand up and come forward? small tokens of appreciation.
They're both like, yeah, no thanks. Yeah.
Facebook page.
All right. 1, 2.
Thank you for all your hard work and dedication.
Something I also want to point out is we have a lot of folks tonight who showed up for this, which is really impressive. It speaks a lot to the job that the ladies did and the dedication that they put in, both over 30 years, correct? Awesome. Just awesome. Thank you again. North Newton is a better place because of both of you.
Thank you again. Moving on to item B, recognition of regional champion softball team.
Yes, I
Are we officially
believe
doing
there
that today, or we?
There was some slight miscommunication, but we do have some softball players with us. I know that because of the impending weather, which looks like we may have gotten a pass on this evening, not everyone showed up. But would our softball player? You can just give a wave.
So we will reschedule that.
We will reschedule it, as well as the next item, our regional champion girls doubles team, also because of the weather. Thank you guys for coming out.
Sectional champion.
Oh, sectional champion, regional qualifier,
Perfect.
tennis team, and just as Tyson said, the softball team has really set the bar for what athletics look like, and for the way they carried themselves too. Fortunately, I was able to attend several of the softball games and really had what we strive for kids to see, just kind of a never die spirit, which, resilience is really one of those things that I hope all kids get out of athletics, and the team aspect of it, because that'll serve you for the rest of your life. And I really felt like our softball team exemplified that.
And they play as a team, and they're a family, and they're fun to watch. If you guys haven't watched one, they're fun to watch. They really are.
Yeah.
We're all out there, and so is the whole crowd right there.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, move on to non-action items.
Mr.
First,
Mark, do you want to give people the opportunity to?
You
Oh.
dismissed.
sorry, at this time, if anybody would like to leave, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time and service. Yeah, can we make sure we advertise that we're going to do something for the teams better, get a good turnout?
Yeah, well, they were coming, but
Right.
then
I think they were under the impression that the meeting
Yeah,
was going to get.
I mean, even Melissa was on. It was a mixed communication, but yeah, we're good. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that. Moving on to non-action item A, Unified Handbook. All right, what do we got on here?
So tonight we have job descriptions, which are draft.
Is that this pile here?
Yes,
All right.
and we've already caught some things that we want to change on it, but some of the things that we're adding, and we've got now up to 15, I believe, job descriptions done, is we want to make sure we have the work year and describe when that starts and begins for folks,
Mm-hmm.
what their benefits are, something that you think people know this, but who they report to and then who reports to them. We're also in the handbook going to include a chain of command, so if people want to know who their boss is potentially in a situation like that, also what days they get off, where there's really no question around it, what the starting salary is or the starting pay, as well as, what am I forgetting that we?
Their hours, like,
Yeah, and then what
you're at the
their
elementaries
hours
or
are.
the junior high and high school, your hours are gonna be different, so
Yeah.
if somebody's applying, they have no question what that is.
And that's one of the things too, that as Sam alluded to, now we can't have in our teacher contract working hours, so that has to be in the handbook, so that will mirror those as well. And we're in a really good groove, almost too good of a groove, because we copied and pasted a little too hard today on some things, but by the next meeting, we should have all of the job descriptions knocked out. The other thing that I've started working on is linking the procedure to the policy. And what I may try to do is actually hot link that because most people will be looking at the handbook in a electronic form, not a hard copy form. But we're making some really good progress. It's our hope in July that it is passed because that way people when they start their school year will have the handbook.
Well, and also for handbook procedurally, every employee would sign that off, even existing employees.
Yeah, just like
That
a
way-
UAP.
The principals, everybody has that, so they've been notified that they've read the new handbook and they understand it and acknowledge that process. So
Yes.
excellent.
So you have all the notes from the meeting, and then
Yep.
one of the biggest things is director of transportation is / CTE teacher, and there will be an addendum to that because that position is new, and we're talking about that later tonight.
Correct. Yeah. Well, actually, what I want to keep director of transportation clean, and then have a
The addendum to that.
CTE teacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sideways. So.
Yes, yeah, but just from what our discussion we had talked
Yeah.
about, yeah. Yep.
Anything else in the handbook?
But this is still a rough draft.
Still a rough
It's
draft.
like
Yeah.
it says the corporation secretary's 181 or 183 days, and that should
Yeah.
be
Yeah, that's
250, right?
as we were going, we were using we used a para as the first template
Okay.
and then started driving down through. The other thing that did get included is the first 15 are pretty close. Once you get past 15, and we were going to cut that off, but it looks like they all went through in the copy.
They did.
So
Excellent. No, this is a work
Yeah,
in,
there'll be a
work in
lot of
progress.
updates to that, Tiffany.
All right, moving on to item B is employee insurance, but this is really about employee mates insurance.
You mean more.
yes.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we gotta change.
So
You want to go over that? Or do you want me?
I can start. One of the things that we are investigating is over the last 2 years, our insurance went up 12% and then 21%,
22.
22%.
22.
Thank you for the correction. So over 30% cumulatively in a 2-year period of time. There was since for about a little over 10 years ago, the state offered insurance to teachers, and at the time it was more expensive than what people could get on the open market or people could get as part of a cooperative. But over those years, the state plan has went up like this 3% ish every year. Very reliable, very easy to budget against. And in that time, MACE and other trusts have went up like this. And the other thing that's happened over that period of years is more people have joined the state. And if you know anything about insurance, the more people you have, the more it waters down any major medical issues. So we have 3,000 people in our trust. The state plan right now has over 30,000 people in it, which somebody on the transplant list or somebody who has open heart surgery doesn't spike your rates for the year. So we are investigating what it looks like to join that, because right now, as someone who works really closely with the budget and creating the budget for the school district, I can't budget 20% or can't budget I don't know what it's going to be. You can budget at 4%, and if it only raises 3%, that's a really happy mistake that you've made. So we're investigating what that looks like. And what's the savings we estimated, Mr. Mark?
Well, the last time I did the analysis, it was 55,000 just for this year, but we haven't obviously switched with the 22% increase. And in the last 10 years, MACE has gone up. I can't remember the number. I sent it to everybody, but we will save over the next 5 years $1.5 million based upon MACE's projected historical raises and the state's historical raises. So at least in the first two years, it's supposed to be $150,000, and then it keeps going up. Obviously, all projections. The other big thing on top of that was Dr. Mike and I reached out to the state lady and had a meeting with her that oversees this. This is for all judges, state representatives, state employees, highway. The only people that at the state level employees that are not on this insurance are the DNR and the police department. I guess they have their own separate insurance. So the rest of the state employees are on the same insurance. They offer it by statute to all schools. They don't offer it to municipalities or counties, or I would have been pushing it at the county level to go that. But then the bigger thing is if you're paying a premium, or not premium, your deductible. So like if we switched over halfway through the year or whatever, the state says that because it's the same plan that we're currently using,
Yeah.
which is either Anthem or.
I should have said that. Yeah, it's their Anthem, we're Anthem.
So
So
whatever you paid out of pocket as your premium or your deductible, they will carry it over into the new plan. So that was I did not know that they would do that. So there's a lot of positives in there. It's not apples to apples, but it's apples to oranges and very close comparisons. We've given that in our collective bargaining, Tyson, myself, and Dr. Mike and Sam, to the
bargaining
bargaining
so
team.
they're aware of it.
Let them know that we're working on this, and we as a board need to address it this year. And then Dr. Mike is addressing it to figure out how to get out of it. If the board so chooses to vote that way, then how we get out of it and when we start up the initiation process. So that's why I wanted us to put on the agenda so we can get this moving and figure out whether we're going to do it or not. So,
and we wanted to be very transparent with folks, and if they've got questions and want to come to board members meetings and ask questions, or reach out to us that we can help answer. But
or their representatives at the union as well.
And I am glad you brought up, because I think that's a huge point. Same insurance we have, so keep the same doctors, keep the same specialists, and if we would do a mid-year switch, any money that you've already spent credits your current premiums and deductibles that you've.
Well, and also she said that because it's a state plan, typically it's your what do you call it, in
regional
in network
Yeah.
is usually regional, but this is because it's a state plan and they have state employees across the entire state. Your network is the entire state. So if you can't find something in Maryville or Lake County or Lafayette, you can go to Indianapolis or Fort Wayne because it's all encumbering everything. So, I mean, it's I think it's a very positive thing, and hopefully allows us to budget much more responsibly. And, we were able to absorb that 22% increase for this last year once. And that's, if we would have not done that, unfortunately, our staff and our teachers would have not, their entire raise would have been gone. They would have, whoever had insurance would have been lost. They would have had no improvement on their stuff. So it's an issue. We need to address it. Anything else on the insurance? Anybody else have any questions? All right. Item 2 is the substitute process. That's actually, we were changing that to the ESS conversation, correct?
Yeah, and I do want to call it the substitute process. It's one of the other things that we're looking at is the efficacy of continuing to use ESS. One of the things that we're hearing is, and our teachers in the building could probably talk to this, that we still don't have subs. And one of our thoughts is, one of the things we did is, and again, one of these things to be transparent before there's a vote one night and you wonder what it's about. We did an absence report for every school, and now we're looking through trying to throw out kind of the weird one-offs, but what does the average day look like? And if does it make more sense for us to just hire permanent subs for each of the buildings to cover those classes because I think we're 225,000 for.
And the last year's fiscal is 265,000. We spent to ESS. As of last month, we're at 98,000, which then we have the rest of the beginning of this next school year, which will start in August. So we'll probably be in the 250, 260.
We're just doing a cost benefit on that. And, and I think if you had somebody in the building every day that you knew was going to be there, or if for some reason the schools have perfect attendance and say Lake Village is down, that person could come over and help cover there as well. So we're investigating that. Just giving money to the middleman is something that I just am never a huge fan of. And I think we could do that, and hopefully the other thing too, and I'm not throwing any shade when I say that, using the ESS system is really easy to call off because you're not talking to anybody, and when I first started teaching, and probably some of you had to pick up the phone and go, hey, is it okay if I take a personal day today? And that takes a little more courage, let's just say.
And clicking a button.
Yeah, instead of just hitting a button, that I'll be absent. But that's one of the things we're investigating. We'll have the data on it, but I wanted to get that on a non-action item.
Correct. And for my review, when we were doing it through the finance committee, when Patty gave us those numbers, because like this board, I think it was last year, Tyson, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought we fixed the paraprofessionals where when we had the ESS come in.
We do have the
Right,
paraprofessional.
but it just was confusing to me that when I saw those numbers that we were spending 266,000, because the big argument when I first got here was the paraprofessionals were not getting, and I agreed with it, not getting paid correctly. Something about $12 that if you did one-on-one, you got $13, and we all said, well, that doesn't make any sense. Let's just pay those people, because ESS was sitting here in that meeting and they said, well, we charge you 17 something an hour or 18 something an hour, and we're only paying your staff 13. I'm like, we could just hire those people directly as ourselves, and we did. So when I got that number, I didn't realize it encompassed everything else, and that's what I was shocked about. Was we have removed the paraprofessionals because we're paying them, and we're still paying that dollar amount for other substitutions. So.
And the one thing I will say is we do realize this will be a little bit more on our staff, but if we can save the middleman money, that gives us more money to help pay our staffs.
Right. The less we pay to other people, the more we can pay ourselves.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anybody else have any questions or comments about the ESS stuff? Just wanted to start having that conversation in the open. Go ahead over the 21-26 pay period, Dr. Mike.
Yes, this is something else that we're looking into. We have employees that work over 21 pay periods, but get paid over 26 pay periods. And it makes keeping track of time very, very difficult on our pay.
And the state review that we have. Yeah,
we are also so last year we were notified by the state we were having a payroll audit. And you won't hear me say fortunately about this, but fortunately we were in such a financial mess that the state just said, hey, we'll come back later. And we know they're coming back though, and they want to review. What they'll be looking at is they'll be looking at time logs. They'll be looking at how people are paid, what's overtime, are people getting paid for the time they work, are people getting paid for time they didn't work. So one of the things that we are investigating, no decisions have been made, is does it make sense if somebody works over 21 pay periods, we pay them out over 21 pay periods? Because we have bus drivers right now fall into that. Paraprofessionals are paid that way. Our secretaries that are here are not. They're paid over 26 pays, but the people who get the 21 pays get a bigger paycheck because their money's not spread out, and also have a little larger deduction because if they're taking insurance, it gets pulled out over 21 than instead of 26.
But it's the same dollar amount.
But it is exactly the same dollar amount.
And it's not for teachers, because teachers still have the option.
Teachers still have the option. One of the things about teachers, one of the reasons is education fund comes in 12 increments throughout the year.
Yep.
So you do have to spread that out. But you could even break from that too, but that would have to be bargained with the teachers.
Yeah, you don't do that.
But one of the things you look about too is if you're getting 21 pays, you get your money.
Yep.
And we're not holding on to your money. So we're investigating that, doing it. I don't like surprises.
It just makes logical sense to pay people, make sure that anytime they clock in and clock out on their time clocks, they are paid the overtime in that pay period, or the week, calendar week, not pay period. And none of this paperwork, keeping track, just use the time clock, pay the people when they're done, make sure they get paid their overtime. So, all right.
Also, if the state's going to come in and do a payroll audit,
Payroll
I'm
audit
sure
would be
Patty
fun.
would appreciate having everything.
No, Patty looked at us when we were talking about on our finance committee that was going to be a very big savings for her. So, all right. Anything else on that, Dr. Mike?
Not on that.
Anybody else have any questions on that right now? Again, just bringing it to the floor to have an open dialogue so we can work on it over the summer. The CPR training number item E. I was given this by a gentleman that works at the county.
Greg Hamilton.
Yes, Greg, sorry. He didn't put his name in, it's at the bottom. He offers instructions for CPR and AED training programs. He does it for South Newton, so I wanted to bring it up again. So whether we can decide, I think Dr. Mike has some stuff he wants to, because he talked to Tony and some other people about this. So it looks like it may be worth us looking into this, but take it from there.
Yeah, it's basically CPR at cost or below cost, just paying for the materials you need, which is probably a good addition to the health classes that we have.
He's an awesome instructor.
Okay. So do you guys want to reach out to him? Whether
We
we
can-
want to do this?
We meet with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's a great instructor.
Yeah,
I've
I
always
he's
heard
asked me about
positive
50
things
times,
about him.
and I'm like, I want to get this on. We can vote on it and decide that you guys handle it. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, if somebody in our community wants to step up and help us in training like this, all the better. All right, excellent. Moving to item F, elementary student parent handbook. Anybody got any of that? 'Cause
Yeah. Mr. Klein is here, but I can talk to it. Right now, we wanted to go ahead and get that out. The elementary principals really pushed to get it finished before they went home for their break. We did leave a couple sections blank because we are addressing those in our policies, one being the cell phone and the other being AI that we're working on policies for. But not a lot of changes since last year. But
Up
one
the cover.
the cover last year actually was that cover too.
Well, it did not
So-
need to be.
We are looking for the old
The cover with all
logo cover.
all the logos on it.
Does anybody have that?
Might be on my iPad.
Last year.
We're gonna go
Dig it
go
up.
digging.
Okay.
But
Somebody's
worst
conspiracy.
case scenario, we create the logo cover again.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, just purely non-action. We'll be waiting. So just order of operations. Next week, it'll be a non-action too, because the cell phone policy will need to be passed. And then once the cell phone policy is passed,
Well,
Okay.
we'll put it in.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then there's no need to double print this for the next
No.
one because it's not
Yeah.
changing.
No.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I'm just going to read off these policies numbers first read if we could.
Can we do the first one
Correct.
only?
And that's why I asked Sam, which one's a?
The
Cell phone's
the
the
very
first
first one.
That
We've
one,
got
36.
first
So let's
one,
go over
everything
that one because
else.
that's the one I wanted to stop at.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. The first policy is 5136R, and this is our revised state law policy for cell phones. Diane, Sam, or Dr. Mike, whichever one, going to take the lead and give us the info. Do we even have that in here?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. We discussed this, and as was alluded to earlier, Mr. Gonzi and Mr. Brooks were also part of the discussion. The cleanest, easiest one that we came on was none. Cell phones are not allowed in school during the school day. And there are exceptions after that, like after school, kids can leave them in their car, but during the school day, kids will not have cell phones in the school.
Okay.
And we also realized that there is some accountability that's going to come to that. We also wrote into the policy, and we talked about it in the procedure, that teachers do not have to directly address it, but they have to directly report it. So if Ms. Vanderwall saw a kid with a cell phone, we're going to have a protocol in place that she will call, text, email down to the office that Vanderwall's classroom, Razor, cell phone. And they'll come down and they'll address it. That way, we're not creating a confrontation between a teacher and a student in class arguing over the phone. Teachers get to teach, administration gets to address if that happens. We will find out really quickly if people aren't enforcing the policy, because when Sam's phone gets taken in third period and then she goes, well, Mr. Mark had his in first period and so-and-so told him to put it away or gave it back.
That's the big thing for me is, and I've talked to a couple administration people about this, is enforcing that, because you're going to have a teacher that will, for whatever reason, allow whatever person to have that and not enforce it. And then it becomes picking and choosing your favorites or picking and choosing a class environment. You cannot have that, because then it will be absolute chaos. Our phones will be ringing off the hook because parents, you're correct. Board members will be contacted because Johnny or Susie says that Timmy was able to have his phone all day long and still watch movies or do whatever, but I was not, or all that stuff. And we just need to have a firm stance on it. If we're going to enforce that law, which is a state law, if we don't, the enforcement's the biggest issue, because you can have a law all you want, but if you don't enforce that, it's just going to be chaos. and it will absolutely take the reputation that we're trying to fix stuff and throw it down in the dumps, in my opinion.
And
So either go one way or the other, but enforce it.
and right now, so it goes to the office first time.
And you need to hold the teachers accountable. They don't do it.
First time, it can go home with the kid at the end of the day. Second time, mom and dad have to come get it. And additionally, with that, there are exceptions for health-related cases, whether that be a glucose monitor, that one is, or any other health-related thing. Everything else that there's an exception for, our student iPads will do, whether that's translation or reading. There are ways to load those where a kid isn't using their cell phone through a technicality, and we need to be careful as we write our IEPs and other things that we address it through the student iPad and not a personal cell phone.
And I've talked to you about this, maybe a couple of board members. I'm blessed enough to have kids that have gone to school 15 years ago, and I have kids now that are in school now. So back in the old days, we used to have a student, Mrs. Jones handled it, which was what was that called? Where kids went to say, hey, mom called me or whatever, and you got to go take the call from that area. So when we were talking about that, we need to set up something specific at the high school that these kids, maybe it's something like in the military where they have 3 stations or whatever, and we put our VoIP phones in there and they can make the call to home or let parents know that they're staying late or whatever. Or if
They're
there's
gonna have to memorize their parents'
there, I know that's the hard
numbers.
part. I gave my older kids calling cards
Just call
because we
the
had
button.
payphones in the school, and we have to set up some type of system that allows communication for our students
Right.
to their parents.
Yeah.
So we need to have that in place before school starts.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Tony.
Short thing, every teacher has a
Has a phone in their
phone in
classroom.
Classroom that dial out.
Yep.
Secondly, phones, we all need one central, they can, whatever class they're in, go use the phone.
And I do think it's important too. It's going to be a new normal, but it's a normal that any of us have been in the business for a while. This is what it was like in the 90s. Or I was a school administrator when the first round of cell phones came through, and back when there was still zero tolerance. And we've talked about it. We don't want to be the phone police.
Mhm.
And the only way that we're going to catch a kid with a phone is if they have their phone out, or if their locker starts ringing, or
Well, and then
that
that
type of
trickles
thing.
down to even more. It's not just cell phones, it's any type of personal
Yeah.
communication device. So anybody
This-
who
The
may
glasses,
may not
Yeah.
have
watches,
the
everything.
smart watch, the glasses, any of that. It is
Technology
not
is too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
it's
know
not
how you're
allowed
gonna
on school property. Now, after school, for instance,
Get
if
it.
you have a junior or senior that can drive to school, it can be kept in the car and they're allowed to use it after school for those purposes. But during school, and it goes for the same thing too, as long as bus drivers. Bus drivers, if they see a kid, nope, you call that building principal and the building principal will handle it.
So and just being transparent, everybody, I have a question about that. What do we do with, I think you and I had this conversation with teachers that pulled their cell phones out and are on it personally and playing video games or I'm just saying hypothetical. To me, I think I made the comment to Dr. Mike, it's like the teacher putting crack cocaine on the desk and then the kids are all sitting there not able to access it because kids grow up with literally whatever. I mean, the kids grow up with phones from the day they're born nowadays. Two parents, including my own and whatever, that they have a phone or a tablet all the time. So taking that away from them and having an adult sit on the other side of that table with that in their hand, I think is morally and very wrong because it sets the message, tells the children that they're different or, whatever. So are we going to put that in our handbooks?
But to counteract that, they are. I don't want to, I know this is going to sound very demeaning, but I am an adult. I get to do things that kids don't get to do.
And they
So
allow
I'm gonna weigh in here.
Yeah.
That's why I want to open discussion.
Okay.
So second period between bell and bell, teachers are teaching. And they shouldn't be back scrolling on their phone. Now, again, I'm dating myself. We ran into this back when we first got the internet in schools and we'd catch teachers in the back, back in the day it was playing Angry Birds or something on that, or they weren't watching things, or they were surfing, or they were shopping on Amazon instead of doing what they should be doing. I do agree with Samantha to a point of they are adults, and if the plumber calls because you had somebody out your house to tell you something, things like that are going to happen. But moreover, we should have teachers teaching during the school day, and at lunch, if they want to be on their phone, they're an adult. If during their plan they want to be on their phone, they're an adult. But it really comes back down just to teachers teaching.
I mean, there's a lot of company policies out in the private sector that I deal with, just that there are different clients that I go to that during, let's just say,
Like you're
from bell to bell, office hours,
Mhm.
you're not allowed to have your phone in your hand. If you're caught with your phone while you're working or not doing stuff, you'll get written up or terminated. So I think to be fair to the kids, to be fair to the things, to be even across the board, to set an example, however we want to do it as a board and as administrators and do that stuff. I just think it needs to be addressed and openly talked about. So.
And I know that this is going to open up another can of worms, but another thing that I will say that I know that as an adult, I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, I have a computer at home. If one technology fails and I'm teaching a class and I can't get the link up for whatever reason, I'm going to move down my technology chain to make sure that I'm still able to do what I need to do to accomplish what I'm supposed to do for the day. But again, I'm an adult checking my boxes off. And I know that then that's going to come back to bite me in the butt, because what if the kids who all have iPads now, if we as a corporation fail to not have the ability to have access to our internet or our iPads to do what they need to do, then go ahead, Mr. Gonzi, you want to chime in with that?
Can I ask Dr. Matt a question? So,
Oh, yeah.
So the state law applies to students.
Yep.
Applies to students. Okay. Then when you start talking about the adults in the building, especially the teachers, that's probably a negotiation issue.
It is a negotiation. It's a negotiation thing if we're saying you can't bring your phone in or anything like that.
Mhm.
But if we're expecting teachers to provide high quality instruction, that's
The modeling part of that, I
Yeah.
think we did. But when you talk about, because I think you were going into the enforcement, what are you going to do to the teacher that does do it? I think that's a negotiable item.
Yeah. But I would argue though too, if I walk into your classroom and the kids are not doing anything and I let them see you're on your phone, same if I walk into your classroom and you're on your computer, or if I walked into your classroom and you had a magazine open, those are paper things that people open and they have words inside them.
Is that newspapers?
On the internet.
Magazine?
So
I agree.
Yeah.
It's all talking about, but it's just the perception of we're going to now by law force the children not to have phones in the school.
Which was not our choice,
It was not our choice, right?
Mhm.
I mean, the
Yeah.
state is just,
It's not the policy. Now you're talking something that's probably a negotiated item.
well, to me it is, and to me it's also, it's a hiring practice and just a model and who you bring in there, because I get from kids over the years coming in and saying teacher X, teacher Y, that the kids just sit in there all day and the teacher's on their phone all day. Is that type of stuff that we want to pay the stuff we want to have teachers in that mindset? No. So if we have that type of stuff, we as a school board and administration, I'm hoping either get rid of or fix that issue. Because to me, now it makes it even worse, because the kids probably were sitting there on their tablets and stuff during the whatever period it was, and everybody was just free for all on the internet. But now they're going to have to do something because they won't have their cell phones. What are they going to do? If that teacher's not engaged, what are they going to do? Are they going to say, hey, you got to go through these 4 lessons or these 12 pages on your tablet or books or whatever we do now? And while they're out there doing nothing? I mean, that's all I'm talking about.
So I had a question. When you said that the cell phones, you'll hear them ringing in the lockers or whatever, so they can't bring them into the building at all.
No.
Not during school hours.
Okay, so I have a question on that. I have a junior high. She's got practice afterwards. She doesn't have a driver, so she can't have her phone.
You can use the phone at school.
Even
And all
after
the coaches-
hours?
all
After
the
hours, yes,
coaches have
because a
phones.
student should never be left alone at school. So there should be a responsible adult with those kids
But
that can
didn't you
get them
just
to a
say
phone.
that they could use it for after school at practice,
Mhm.
but they
If-
can't have it on them
They
during the
If they're
day,
in their-
so
But they're
there's
in
no
their
way
cars.
for them to even have their phone.
Hey, hold on. Don't interrupt. I tape you. Do not interrupt while we're having our meeting. If you can't, please leave. Is that clear? Thank you. Continue.
No, it just, you're gonna run into problems with that. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm not disagreeing that they shouldn't have their phones during teaching time. The teachers should not be on their phones while teaching, but you're gonna run into some problems because maybe there is a medical issue or anything like that, and nobody's realizing what's going on in class, or I don't know. You're gonna run into problems.
I think before these
I really
state
do.
legislators make rules, they should spend a couple weeks in a classroom
Yeah,
and maybe some.
because this is like, this is not like,
Who
we're
should
gonna
spend
be
some
the
time in the
ones,
classroom?
These are
the
state
state legislators that are the
make
ones
the
that,
rules.
I
Yeah,
agree.
because I think
This is
that
a
this
state
law
law.
is, I don't agree with it. And
No,
I think it's dumb.
I
that
don't
we
agree
have
with
to
it either
enforce it. I
because
mean, we have
we're in the day
dress
of
code
age of
policy that
technology. So
doesn't get followed. We're going to take phones away from kids, and we should be looking at other things like that besides this.
So, and Mr. Bridgman, I would agree. We have what we've done with through the, and there weren't big, great sweeping choices you could make that were way over here and way over here.
No, it wasn't.
We've adopted the policy, or we've recommended the adoption of the policy that's easiest to enforce for the teachers and the administration. That was the question I asked Neola, very much tongue in cheek, but let's say Officer Dustin just happens to be out at the high school one day visiting and sees a kid with a cell phone. I go, and the principal's standing right there. And the person from Neola goes, well, he's breaking the rules. And I was like, no, he's breaking the law. And they've not thought this through.
Well, who's going to enforce it? Did the state hire a cell phone police that's going to go around the schools and say, you brought your phone 4 times to school, I'm putting you in juvie? Like this whole thing is dumb.
Yeah,
and I'm
what
just
happens-
disappointed in our lawmakers. I'm sorry.
So-
That's what it is. It's like, it's
Well,
not
puts the
like
heat on us,
it's
and I'm going
us.
to tell you right now, there are
and
going to be parents that are
They're
going
gonna
to
be,
be super upset.
well, I've been saying it for weeks
And
now.
I'm
Like,
one
this
of
is
them.
coming down the line. We're gonna have a bunch of parents who are, excuse my language, pissed off about this because from a
Yes.
parent perspective, I'm the damn one paying for this phone. Why can't my kid have it? Like, I get it. But again, this is what's coming up from state. So this is them trying to keep us in line. And as a parent, I also see the other side of it because tell me honestly, how many days have you guys had to take time out of your day to deal with a student that has had some sort of issue that relates back to social media, text messaging of friends, think she said, he said, this person broke up with me in 5th hour and now,
There's gonna
he's
be a
dating so and
5-second
so in 6th
hour
grade.
and all the
It's
kids
like
know
they've
about
recorded
that.
prom too.
they've recorded a fight and now it's all over everybody and like, I mean, seriously, like how much of your days,
So I
and
had
even at the
kids
elementary
teaching
school level.
Teaching before and now, kids were more engaged in the lesson, more engaged with each other. Life was better without cell phones. If I'm a parent, I get it. If we really walk by a cell phone, honestly, it's buried in your locker because you plan on having it after school. That's a different situation than if you have it out in class. We got it. But that wasn't a choice we had, right? That when we went through the thing, that wasn't a choice we had. So one thing I wanted to jump in here real quick, because I'll be the guy taking the phone, right?
Yeah.
We didn't want the teachers have chain of custody. They didn't have, so
Right.
they're not touching the phone. They don't need to disrupt their class. Learning will continue. Tony 226. I get up 226. Tony, got to have your phone, right? And then there's a policy. Within your locker, buried, you use after school. That's a different animal, right? Versus every class you're pulling out and using it, putting it back. It's different, right? So we're going to be realistic, but we're going to follow the law. And then after school, the one thing I know Dr. Mike's going to tell you later is, if it's a school function, it's still under the discretion of the person in charge of that function, correct?
Yes.
I just
So
want to
even
make
if
sure
it's a-
we don't expel kids for their 5th offense for
No,
having their phone.
I wouldn't think that either.
You never know. It might get to that though if they keep breaking
Well,
consequences
Parents
of
have
it.
to keep coming to get it. And
Yeah.
I mean, that was literally when
You would think, but
in 2010 when
For
they
a
first.
while, you're
a lot
not
of
gonna wanna
running
keep
back and
coming to
forth,
get it, so
picking
you'll
up cell phones.
Hold
figure
on,
it
hold
out.
on. That was the way, and I think that's what we were talking about in the old parents had to come pick them up. Right. I mean, I remember when kids got
The
home,
day after.
you had to
Yeah,
come
use
as a parent to
pay
get
phone.
that phone if it was
There
taken
was no
away.
cell
So
phone.
parents will get fed up with
You
having
had
to
to
go pick up
yeah,
their phone.
change.
I mean, that'll
Yeah,
be,
but it'll
nobody
be
will-
now they're gonna discontinue the course
Yes,
already
if they're,
eliminated the
if
penny.
they want to express their opinion, they can just tell them each
And
time
then I
I'm
think the
done with
point that
this.
Tyson was gonna make, because there are an option that we just collect them all in the morning.
Right.
and give
I've
them that-
seen a lot of school corporations were
Who
doing
wants
that.
that?
However, that's an
No,
investment,
you don't.
which
No.
I
Yeah,
understand.
It wasn't broke, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So hold on real quick. John, you had a question. You raised your hand.
I texted Dr. Mike. My summer read is called Digital Delusion, and a neuroscientist is writing it. Mostly it's about the effects that educational technology has had on learning. And since educational technology has come along, big business has pushed it. And academic scores since 2000 have done nothing but fall.
Mhm.
They've sold us on a myth that this stuff's supposed to make the learning more efficient. And there's an entire chapter on cell phones, and your policy on bell to bell is his only recommendation on what works. If you go any softer than that, it will continue to be a disruption throughout the day for kids learning.
Thank you.
So I think you're on the right track.
Yeah, because
Thank you.
like,
I 100%.
again, if you do have it in the locker, it's like, it's candy, right?
Right.
Like, ooh, I got a passing period. I gotta check and see who sent me a text message.
Yes.
Like, ooh, I got 5 of them, and I got a Facebook reel saying this guy broke up in a fight in the bathroom. Like, okay, here we go.
Are you raising your hand or just waving at me? Because I can't see.
Said, I got to the point last year where I had kids that would disappear for 15 and 20 minutes from my classroom because they wanted to go watch an episode of something while they were doing their bathroom duties. So it became, if a kid has to go to the bathroom, it was leave your cell phone face down on my desk. It has been the law that they're not allowed to have them during instructional time. So what you're asking isn't anything that's uncommon. So, and I read The Anxious Generation last year with Katherine Hines for a book study, and the effects on social interaction and a child's mind are so unfathomable. I can't, I would go back and never give my kid a phone, knowing to echo what John is saying. So I understand, Melissa, where you're coming from. Should they be able to have it after school? I mean, that's something that you guys can hash out, but you're on the right path. And it's not what we have. We've already been doing it. They've just found ways to sneak them in. And you say it's candy. It absolutely is. They would disappear to go to the bathroom to use their phone, or they didn't have to go to the bathroom. They would just go use the phone. So it becomes, it's an addiction, an absolute addiction that they don't know how to overcome. And this will solve it.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything else?
Crazy kids.
Lord.
It can all be rewired. I've been to a lot of
I
studies.
know.
The brain
Yeah.
can be rewired. I'll get it.
Let's go ahead.
Okay, so for my input for the past 3 years, so basically, phones and things, but I feel like my kids, we have kids that have kids, we have, and so I can't be an open. And this is something that I'm not reading. Oh, so yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have to even contact those parents constantly, or I'm taking it. But the girls I have, like, and also, doesn't seem so great. Not sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need one of those things. You walk in and you text your parents. It'd be like,
But don't you have one of the iPads?
we have computer.
Well, then that would be an IT issue.
Right.
That's our
So
next.
we can have
And I
IT
think
fix that for you.
I think that's
Thank you.
to Sam's point. Adults need to be responsible adults, and yeah, I mean it's easy to see if Miss Belt's using it for that reason, or
Building. Use that. Oh,
Yeah.
Great. The teachers did not great. So.
So how do the principal, or not the principal, the high school teachers get that information if there's an emergency in class to reach out to that parent if the child cannot?
They already said they had phones in every class.
I understand, but they don't have the contact information. You don't have everybody's contact information.
But you can't call directly to my classroom. If Melissa needed me, she couldn't call directly to reach me. She would have to call this and.
But you can call me.
Yeah, I can call you.
Correct.
Correct.
But I don't, only because I would have to go to my cell phone and get your number out.
But if you didn't have my cell phone, how would you contact me if there was an emergency situation and you were trying to get hold of everybody into the high school to let me know about Kaylin?
All of your students, so I know the teachers, I have obviously access on Power School, but the teachers should have, when I go, their homeroom class or whatever class they are.
Okay.
Somehow we survived over 10,000 years. We'll be fine.
Phone numbers are in Power School. It's right to the radio.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's like an emergency in the school. At some point, it's coming to us. And you're getting it. The parent's gonna be.
I'm just looking at every little angle because you
It
know
would be
it's
fun
coming.
Next year when the law is, no adults in schools will have cell phones.
And that will
You'll really hear it's good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for this?
It's bad, yeah.
Moving on.
I have nothing more.
You guys have anything else?
Not on that one, but
Okay.
I've got some stuff
No.
on some of the others.
All right. So you want me to pause me when I get to any of them? You want me to?
Well, I just have them in stacks, so
Okay. good.
sorry.
First read for policy number 0100, revised policy number 0151, policy 1220, policy 1520.08, policy 1623, policy first read 1662.01.
Hold on, pause.
Yep.
Backing up.
Which one?
0159. So for those that don't know, when you're looking at board policies, each different section, like for example, if it's board organizational related, it's going to start with 0. And then it's going to go like administration, it's going to start with 1.
Mhm.
And then, so that's how, so there's a lot of these that like, it's like
They're
5136,
duplicated.
like it'll be like, it'll be duplicated because if it's going for our administrative, and then again, it's gonna go to like our professional staff and then paraprofessional staff, like they switch out the noun for each one. So
The
each one
first
has its
number
own.
is for the
Yeah.
group. The second,
Yeah.
third number are for the individual policy.
Yep.
Okay.
So for 0159, it is talking about our organizational meeting, and usually it is from by January 15th as a board, we need to meet so that we can have an organizational meeting to nominate within each other who's going to be president, vice president, and secretary.
Mhm.
And we also have to nominate, it's the different, it doesn't say the
Committees and all that
committees,
stuff.
but the Board of Finance. That has been changed from January 15th to January 30th.
Okay.
But we have to check about the Board of Finance because that policy did not update to switch to January 30th like this one did.
So they're just giving us
There's-
15 more days to do
Yes.
that.
You're
Okay.
probably still
Yes.
gonna, and we still meet at the beginning of the year anyway, so
Yep.
Your organization.
it seems
means
kind of odd that they moved it, but
Yep, so
Perfect.
sorry.
That's
my
all
bad. Go ahead.
What was I on? Policy first read 2221, policy 3120.02, policy 3120.08.
okay, right there.
Yep.
So on those, there are several, you said 3120.08.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's 8120, 4120.08, 1520.08, 8455, that all have to do with some new regulations coming down from IHSAA that says any paid now or volunteer coach of a program must be rostered with the IHSAA and accredited to having any athletic contact with the students. So they still have to, all the volunteers, if they haven't already, they have to have all the same training and they have to be rostered and they have to be voted in.
Okay.
And then that they did clarify too that also applies to any board members who volunteer, because at that point they are considered community members and that they have to go through all the same training. And that is coming from IHSAA, that they have to have that.
I did that last year. I had to do 6 or 7 classes and get accredited and all that stuff. So I don't know if that was something that we do at North Newton.
That's a common practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just a policy
Yeah,
that
it's just the policy.
covers
It's,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
covers it
Yeah.
all. We wanted to make
And
sure
it
that,
was making sure volunteers were the one that they pointed out at every level,
Yeah.
making sure that I don't know if everybody else did it.
And now I'm assuming the athletic director keeps that as a roster rolling even for the elementaries. I don't know how that works for the elementaries.
And when they're talking about rostering, that's reporting to IHSA. For elementary, it wouldn't be because IHSAA is 9 through 12.
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
it wouldn't matter even if they have volunteer coaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that it, Diane?
For those, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
that's that category.
Policy 3131, first read policy 3139, policy 3142, policy 3220, policy 3220.02, policy 3362.01, policy 3430, policy 4120.08, policy 4123, policy 4150, policy 4362.01, policy 5111, technical correction, policy 5310, policy 5462, policy 5540, policy 5600, policy 5840, policy 6109, policy 6152, policy 6325, policy 7420, policy 7541, policy 8120, policy 8300, policy 8305, policy 8400.
It's school safety information, so
Okay.
Yep.
Anything on that? Or you want me to keep going?
there needs to, it talks about having a school safety specialist, school safety committee at each building. And then there were some different choices that we picked that I think are very similar to what we did in the past.
Okay. Policy 8455, policy 8462, policy 8510. That is all the policies. Do you guys have anything you want to go over? Miss any of those policies? Okay.
no.
All right, the next item is junior, senior high textbook course adoption for grades 7 through 12. Who wants to go on that? I don't know what that is. We have a change.
It says English 7, 8, and 9, preparation for college and careers in anatomy and physiology.
Anybody have any questions on that? All right, moving on. Executive principal for elementary education. Dr. Mike's going to take that.
yes, it's going to be, pardon me, it's going to be my recommendation at the next meeting that we name Mr. Klein as the executive principal for elementary education. What that means, as you can see in your materials, but he is going to be the lead principal for our elementary principals. He has over 20 years experience as an elementary school principal. And one of the things that we're striving to do is to create standardization and uniformity among our elementary schools and really strive for grade level meetings where third grade looks similar across our 3 schools and fifth grade looks similar. And that also that we're moving in the right direction where a parent or a teacher doesn't say, well, I've heard at Lake Village they do it that way, but why do we have to do it this way at Morocco? Or how come Lincoln teachers have to do this, but then they don't here? So Mr. Klein is going to help us with some of that uniformity, standardization, and really be a lead that I don't want to say is a tiebreaker, but a direction maker. And I would think of it almost kind of like an assistant principal or a department head type of role for the elementary principals.
Excellent. And the executive principal elementary education description, you've presented that. Okay.
Yes. And I am also recommending 5 additional days on his contract just for planning and preparation and those type of things, which would then mirror what a high school assistant principal's contract looks like.
Anybody have any questions on that? Obviously, we'll bring it up for our next meeting for a vote.
Yep.
Okay. In the meantime, if anybody has questions, reach out to Dr. Mike or Don and clarify. Excellent. All right, moving on to the consent agenda for public comment offered prior to the consent vote. We have our minutes.
We got everything.
I know the minutes came this morning to 8:35 for the first time, so I don't know if anybody had a chance to review them.
I did. I don't know if anybody else can correct me if I'm wrong, if I didn't see any changes.
On our facility request forms,
That's the homemakers doing their backpacks again.
oh, perfect.
I don't think anybody's gonna say no to
No,
hundreds of hundreds
and
of
that's in
thousands
July.
of supplies.
Yeah,
And
21st and
21st and
22nd. I think.
Patty, you miss your night.
In our claims, they look obviously a lot larger than normal. We're paying our debt service payment. We have our Apple lease, as well as there was one other thing that was large in there.
There were some other personnel things in there too that she sent us.
So yeah, the KB Valley Corporation payout, which must be part of our co-op payout. I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Oh yeah, there was a KV and Rensselaer, I believe.
Mhm.
For the KV and then the Rensselaer school, I get it. Is it for our upper grades? Because it's classes that we don't offer, so our like high school students are going to those districts so that they can complete those courses, or is this like the lower grades with like
This is the special education.
special education stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we should begin offsetting that with the developmental preschool to
Okay.
some extent to
Okay.
Rensselaer and KB, I believe. And then also, I mentioned last meeting, we are exploring a levels program potentially in our building, but there's a lot of supports that would need to be around that. But we have posted for the position because those teachers are extremely hard to find.
Okay.
So we couldn't start the program unless we had someone who could do it. So we
Okay.
looked to try to offset some of those costs.
We will be interviewing a candidate next week.
Awesome.
And just so you all are looking at, this is part of stuff we were discussing in the finance committee. It's part of your finance report here. In operations, we had a beginning balance of $24,881. Our ending balance right now is $413,000, and that's because we don't have a tax roll payout yet. But
Until in June, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay in May. We should get our payment in June,
and then we'll have our next one in
December.
January,
November, December.
or in December. Yes. Excuse me.
So just so people when they see that don't have a heart attack.
And then
But
was
we
this,
definitely made up our cash reserve in that.
then was this all the grants that we've been awarded that Patty put together for us?
Is that on the back of the finance
That's on the
committee?
back of it. No, that's a separate document. It's got, talks about different title, liability, secured school safety.
I would assume yes. I did not get a copy of that, so
I know we were talking about the last meeting, so I
Yeah.
appreciate her putting that together.
yeah, Patty put it together for the board, but she made set a copy.
Oh, and she gave us the printout too that we requested last meeting about the LED light total expenditures.
Yeah.
As of 2026, $65,878. Okay, excellent. And then yes, this is the title. Yes.
And different grants. I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion from Diane, seconded from Samantha to approve the consent agenda as submitted with items A, B, C, D, and F. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed and abstained. Thank you. Motion carries. All right, moving on to donations. We have item A, B, and C. Sam, if you want to take those for me.
We have a donation from Chris York for the varsity boys basketball proceeds from the basketball camp. It was cash in the amount of $330. Another donation from Chris York for the varsity girls basketball proceeds from the basketball camp, again in cash, and it was $344. And then we have a donation from Midwest Conference. The donee goes to the athletics, donation towards the tornado relief in a check, and it was in the amount of $2,296 for a total of $2,970 in donations.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from Diane, seconded by Melissa to approve the donations of items A, B, and C off of our agenda. Discussions? Thank you for the donations for everybody. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. All right, moving on to the personnel reports, and we have somebody to speak, but I want to ensure that I'm going to read these and we'll vote by these individually, because in the last meeting, I did not do that, and one of my board members had to vote down the entire agenda. So everybody should have a fair chance to vote on every individual person. So these will be done individually. I'm going to start off with personnel report. We have Gannon Grider, social studies teacher, $47,000, first year contract, school day, 2026, 2027. Was it Lucille Morris? Lucille Morris. I'm sorry. North Newton Junior Senior High, long-term sub, attorney coverage, $22 an hour, ASAP. We have recommended for employment Stephanie Reese, preschool paraprofessional, Lake Village, effective date 8/1/2026, $16 an hour. And then we have transfers, promotions, and demotions, and that is provided in a separate sheet for 2026, 2027 administrative teacher transfers. We have Evan Prohaski, Lake Village Development Preschool to Lake Village first grade.
No, opposite.
It says
She's
to
going-
from.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be,
She's in
from,
first grade. She's going to do the developmental
Yeah,
preschool.
Well, you should be
Yeah.
reading the from too.
yeah, from
First
two.
column is to, the third column is from.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I don't want you to
Was
go
I-
down the whole
Was I
list.
dyslexic on that? I
No,
reversed
you
it?
read it
it's-
exactly how it was like,
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going from Lake Village first grade to Lake Village Development Preschool,
yes,
correct? Okay.
yeah,
Megan Carlson is going from Lake Village fourth grade to Lake Village first grade. Nicole Renfus is going from Lake Village sixth grade to Lake Village second grade. Karen Cunningham is going from North Newton Junior Science to Lake Village sixth grade. Daniel LaFoon is going from, I'm assuming,
Morocco
Morocco
Elementary.
Elementary sixth grade to Morocco Elementary third grade. Julie Deckard is going from North Newton Junior Language Arts to Morocco Elementary sixth grade. Kaylee Belt is going from
Lincoln,
Lincoln Elementary kindergarten to Lincoln Elementary first grade. Michelle
Bougie,
is going from Lincoln Elementary second grade to Lincoln Elementary first grade. Megan Hinch is going from Lincoln Elementary fourth grade to Lincoln Elementary second grade. Tiffany Stokowski is going from Lincoln Elementary sixth grade to Lincoln Elementary second grade. Megan Milborn is going from Lincoln Elementary second grade to Lincoln Elementary fourth grade. And Cassie Vanderwall is going from North Newton Junior Social Studies to Lincoln Elementary sixth grade. Before I go into discussions, Cassie, if you want to come up to the podium, you will have your time to discuss.
Hi.
My name is Cassie, obviously. I think you all know me. First, I want to thank Dr. Razor for the time that you met with us individually. And I actually met with Dr. Razor a second time, and I felt like our second conversation was far more productive and professional. And I appreciate his compassion in a very sensitive situation. More importantly, I appreciate the professionalism in which you handled the situation as well. That said, I've met with Sarah Funston, and she absolutely was the ultimate as well. She was very welcoming, very kind, very professional, which unfortunately hasn't been the entire case throughout this entire situation. So that said, I think it should be noted, none of us were given a choice, and none of us were in favor of this decision. And I think some of you have been fed some miscommunications in that. So I can only speak for the three of us at the high school level who've all served more than 20 years in our role. And in past practices, we've made these kinds of dramatic moves as a way to get teachers out the door. And so it's very insulting in a way that we felt like, are we not valued by you, our school board, by administrators, in the way that not only it was handled, but to be demoted essentially, and to be removed from something in a place that we're so very passionate about. And I think all three of us, so many of you understand and know, as we've all had your children, and we've interacted with your kids, not just in the classroom as their teachers, but as their person, their safe space, their mom away from home. And to take that from us, the opportunity to be that person for your children has been taken from us without any voice. I just want you to understand this is hard and very frustrating and very sad. I'm more disappointed that these plans were in work for quite some time in the decisions of who was going to move, because there are other teachers who also have the same dual license that we do. And in moving us in the places that you've chosen to move us, you're leaving permanent subs without teaching licenses in place in the high school where we could be filling in. And if you want to have those discussions one-on-one, I'll be glad to help you make that a little clearer. I know I don't want to make that public, but there are ways that we could have stayed in the building, and substitute teachers who do a great job. I don't want to discredit those teachers. I've taught beside them and they're outstanding, but they don't have teaching licenses. And so they get to stay and we don't. And that's very difficult. So I do have a lot more questions as I've had time to process this, in that I will direct not only to Dr. Razor, but I will include you as well if you'd like to be included in some of those questions. But I just wanted you to know this is not a popular choice. As it's become more public, the amount of parents that have reached out who are very upset, my only response is contact the administration. I don't know what to say. It's not my choice. This is what we are being told. This is the job we're being offered. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I missed two names. Thank you, Melissa, for pointing out. Personal report, junior high cheer coach, Kaylee, is that correct? Michaela Jones, and personal report, junior high cheer coach, Tanya Jones, correct? All right. So let's go down this list individually, so every board member has the ability to vote one way or the other. We'll start with Mr. Greider. Or a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Motion from Melissa, seconded by Sam, to approve Gannon Greider's hire as a social studies teacher, $47,000 first year contract, 2026, 2027. Discussions.
I want to note something on there. I talked to Dr. Mike because he's also going to be doing CTE criminal justice.
Oh,
So we want to make sure that is known, correct?
Yes, so Mr. Greider is in essence replacing Mr. Gonzi's vacancy when he became assistant principal. However, Mr. Greider also has the ability to teach criminal justice. He has a degree in criminal justice, and that allows us to expand our CTE pathways even more, which is huge for us as a district, and I completely support the recommendation.
Well, I just saw something to tie into that, Diane and Dr. Mike, that Sam just showed me. Wasn't there some CTE stuff for criminal justice?
On his recommendation form, it's one of his strengths is he has the ability to teach that course.
Any other further discussion on Gannon Grider?
I assume he's going to be helping with football.
If
That
he
would
is
be Mr.
hired,
Grider's son.
yes, it is.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. All right, moving down to Lucille Morris, North Newton Junior Senior High, long-term sub-maternity coverage, behavioral is $22 an hour. Start effectively July 1st. Is that what you're looking for? ASAP?
ASAP.
Yes, but we'll be starting when the regular schedule for the individual would happen. She is the maternity relief for Shauna Slavens, who is going to be out at the beginning of the year on maternity.
So it's just, okay.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion from Sam, seconded by Diane, to approve Lucy Morris as North Newton Junior Senior High long-term sub maternity leave coverage, $22 an hour. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to support staff personnel recommended for employment. Stephanie Reese, preschool paraprofessional, Lake Village Elementary, effective date 8/1/2026, $16 an hour.
To approve.
Oh,
Second.
second. Oh, sorry.
Motion from Diane, seconded by Melissa, to approve Stephanie Reese. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to our administrative transfers. First one on the list is Eva Prahosky, going from Lake Village first grade to Lake Village Development for preschool.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Sam, seconded by Diane, to approve Eva Prahosky's move. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Megan Carlson, going from Lake Village fourth grade to Lake Village first grade.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Diane, seconded by Melissa, to approve Megan Carlson. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Nicole Rimpus, moving from Lake Village sixth grade to Lake Village second grade.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Diane, seconded by Sam, to approve Nicole Renfus. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Karen Cunningham, North Newton Junior Senior High to Lake Village sixth grade.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from Diane, seconded by Sam, to move Karen Cunningham, North Newton Junior High to Lake Village sixth grade. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Let me do that again. Raise your right hand for approval. 1, 2, 3, 4. Opposed? 1, 2, 3. It has been approved. Moving on to, did I do? No, I haven't done Danielle. Danielle Laffoon, Morocco Elementary sixth grade to Morocco Elementary third grade.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from Diane, seconded by Sam, for Danielle Laffoon, moving sixth grade to third Morocco Elementary. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? 6-1. Tyson opposed. Motion carries. All right. Moving to Julie Decker, North Newton Language Arts to Morocco Elementary sixth grade. There we go.
Move to approve.
I will second.
All right. Motion from Diane, seconded by Sam, to move Julie Decker to North Newton Junior Language Arts to Morocco Elementary sixth grade. All those in favor, raise your right.
I have a comment.
Yes.
It makes my heart hurt that Mrs. Decker would have to leave. We talk about having the best of the best. The best of the best, in my opinion, should stay. Julie has been a constant for both of my children, and she's going to be deeply missed. And my heart hurts for this. So,
But the best of the best were picked because they're going to go down and build those relationships, because next year the junior high is coming back and everyone's coming back.
but they're
Okay.
also that bridge to go into the high school. So
But they're gonna bring the bridge
But ultimately,
farther
correct me if I'm
along.
wrong, Dr. Mike, it's a 1-year thing. This is not a long
It
term.
is, yes. And I gave each of them my word if they wanted to come back to the junior, senior high, that was going to
We're
be,
moving the 6th grade.
we're moving the 6th grade and their
Freaking
position's moving.
Yes. All right. Any other discussion on Julie Decker? All those in favor, raise your right hand. What was that, 3? Tyson? You didn't raise your hand, I couldn't see.
Okay.
Opposed? Okay, moving on. Haley Belt from Lake Village Elementary Kindergarten to Lake Village Elementary First Grade.
Lincoln.
I'm sorry, Lincoln.
a motion.
Thank you.
I will second.
Motion for Melissa, seconded by Sam. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? That was 5-2. Motion carries. Thank you. That was for Kaylee, right? All right, moving on down to Michelle Bougie.
Bougie.
Lincoln Elementary 2nd grade to Lincoln Elementary 1st grade. Discussions? Oh, I'm sorry, we need a motion in a second. So many of these.
A motion.
All right. This is Melissa made the motion.
I will second.
Sam seconded for Michelle Bougie. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Megan Hinch from Lincoln 4th grade to Lincoln 2nd grade.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion from Sam, seconded by Diane for Megan Hinch. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Tiffany Stokowski. You're moving Lincoln Elementary 6th grade to Lincoln 2nd grade.
A motion.
I'll second it. Motion from Melissa, seconded by Michael, to move Tiffany Stokowski from Lincoln 6th grade to Lincoln 2nd grade. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Megan Milborn, Lincoln 2nd grade to Lincoln 4th grade.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Sam, seconded by Diane for Megan Milborn for moving Lincoln 2nd grade to Lincoln 4th grade. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Cassie Vanderwall from North Newton Junior Senior Social Studies to Lincoln 6th grade.
Move to approve. I will second. And I'm going to add this. It is my go-to Bible verse for this year. And you and I have a spiritual connection. Esther 4:14. Perhaps you were made for a time like this. You know that I struggled mentally to come back to this table.
I got you.
Yeah. And the changes that we've made in the past year and a half, almost 2 years, have been significant. And it has been hard as hell. You were made for a time like this. You, Karen, and Mrs. Decker. You three ladies. You are going to help us bridge that gap. And I truly feel that way. And you know I wouldn't lie to you. And that's why I made the motion for this. I'm going to be crystal clear with you because I believe in you wholeheartedly. My faith is in you to help bring North Newton to what we need to bring it to.
But I wanted a voice.
I get that.
There's a motion. Sorry, you done?
No, yeah,
Motion by Melissa. No,
Diane.
Diane, seconded by Sam. Discussions. I do have something to say too for Cassie. So when I first came on here 18 months ago, whatever it was, I was told you were going to be the next principal for a specific school. And it was an elementary. And then that all got thwarted. I wasn't on the board yet. Couldn't happen. So for me, this is the perfect, from what I understand how the logic of this works, is the perfect setup for you to get that certification, the training of a principal at the elementary level, because you've not been there. You and I talked about this. So that's why I'm 100% in support of you doing this for the long term, because in my mind, as I've been promoting since I've been on this board, hiring from within, which we proved that here recently with our vice principal, is the path to success, in my personal opinion, of this school corporation. We keep hiring people from the outside, it doesn't change. If you put people that have been here or that want to be here, it changes things. That's why I'm in full support. How it happened and all that process and all that stuff, that's a different subject. But my vision of what you and I've talked about many times, your long-term goal is to become an administrator. And maybe that's changed in last time you and I spoke, but I'm in favor of that process. So any other discussions? All those in favor for Cassie Vanderwall's move, raise your right hand. Opposed? Yeah. All right, moving on.
No, so I think there's one thing that needs to be stated and clear here, because correct me if I'm wrong, you're on the finance committee. There are teachers who do not have full schedules. Am I right in that, or am I wrong?
Well, there will become teachers that won't have full schedules.
Can I speak? I'm sorry.
Because you've also.
No, I'm going to have to now go move other people. The other thing that I do want to say, and I respect the vote of the board wholeheartedly. Administrative transfers are not board approved.
Exactly.
However, it has been the practice of this board, as we looked back, that they were voted on as part of the personnel report. And I was not going to bring that forward tonight and say, guess what, guys? Because that has been our practice. But 2 weeks from now, there'll be 2 new teachers, because we have to staff. We have a 7th grade with 45 kids in it. We have an 8th grade with 80 kids in it.
Correct. It's going to happen.
We have a situation where kids who don't pass iRead have to stay in 3rd grade. We've done major shuffles.
Well, to be clear,
I'm
Hold on,
sorry.
let
I'm sorry, go
Dr.
ahead,
Mike
Dr.
finish.
Because I also know right now that Miss Belt isn't happy with the move that she made. However, she's one of the best teachers that we have. And I say that as a compliment. And we need her in 1st grade. And I appreciate, again, I respect the vote, and I wasn't going to do that on something that is this kind of move. We're also a district that 20 years ago had almost 2,000 kids, and today has under 1,000. And there's going to be other tough decisions that we have to make, and we have to think about what's good for every kid and each kid, and how we can all pitch in. And a couple of clarifying things I want to say too. This was not in the works for a long time. This was something when we realized when it came to us that teachers had half a schedule.
That you as a superintendent, were not made aware of.
Nope, not made aware of, but also too, that for the good of our elementary schools and the good of every student in our classes, we had classes that needed to be split. And we were able to staff that without adding additional teachers. We're still going to be able to add that, going to have to, without adding additional teachers. So we'll be back. I'll be back in 2 weeks with 2 other teachers.
What I was going to bring in before you finished, I'm all about what's right and what's wrong. If you're telling us, and I will do the research, you and I and the officers or whatever board members want to, we'll go find out. We're going to call the attorneys. We're going to reach out to the state. I will reach out, whoever else wants to. We will come back to the next meeting. If by law or policy or whatever, that is your authority to do that, then we won't vote on this anymore. There's no reason to do something that it's not right. And we have to have everything checks and balances and everything correct up and down. So as a board, we'll go through and vet that, figure it out. And if what he says is true, we're going to do it. If it's not, we'll keep doing it.
And if I can say one more thing, again, that was not going to be a gotcha. We were going to vote this evening. That was something that I could have pushed the issue on, and I wanted the vote to happen because it's what has been the past practice.
It has since I've been on. Perfect. Anything else on that? All right, we'll move on. No, you're looking up stuff. We
Yeah.
can pipe in. We got the personnel reports for junior high cheer coach Michaela Jones.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Sam made the motion. Melissa Dyer seconded. Junior high cheer coach Michaela Jones. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed. Motion carries. Personnel report, junior high cheer coach Tanya Jones.
May I make a clarification? She is JV cheer coach. It's on there as junior high.
I'm sorry.
She will be JV cheer coach.
You guys fine with that amendment of the motion?
Yes.
So it's JD. Same.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody fine with the vote on that? Still the same? Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay, good. Junior high cheer coach Tanya Jones. Did anybody make a motion?
No, I'll motion.
I'll second.
Melissa made the motion. Tyson made the second for Tanya Jones. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. All right, action items. Oh, got these freaking. We have, let me read these off. Second read of policy 0164.1, policy 0164.2, policy 0164.3, policy 0164.5, policy 0164.6, policy 0165.1, policy 0165.2, policy 0165.3, policy 0165.4, policy 0165.5, policy 1130, policy 1422.01, policy 3113, policy 4113, policy 6110, policy 6112, policy 6114, policy 6550, policy 7450, policy 9130. We also have the Cardinal contract that we looked at last month or last meeting. We have the Lake Village concrete bid. We had an out-of-district student transfer request, the HS High School Culinary Classroom Kitchen Hood quote, the NWE, what is that? Northwest
NWEA.
NWEA. We have the Lake Village Playground. We have an adjustment to our employee longevity amendment, and then Transportation Director CTE job description and contract. All right. All that. Thank you. Let's go through the policies. I'll make a motion to approve the second read of the policies A through E. E, is it?
Yeah, T's the last one.
Tango. I do my motion. Tyson, did you approve that?
Down second thing.
Motion for Michael, second by Tyson to approve the second read of policies from A through T. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Next item is the Cardinal copier contract. Dr. Mike, do you want to remind us again what that is?
Yes, this was a renegotiated contract where we have drastically dropped the cost of copies, and we are also, we are also reevaluating the amount of copiers we have, the amount of printers we have. We were basically paying different rates for different things, and we have dropped our price. Our bills are now about half because they went ahead and granted us the new contract pricing when we discovered that the contract hadn't been renegotiated in years. So this is just formalizing it. A fraction of a penny for every black and white, and also, 6 cents a copy for color, which had been 11, I believe. And then if you see the outstanding balance, that's 15,000. That was well over 25. They also applied the new pricing to our outstanding balance that we had. So I do recommend this for passage.
You may have just said it and I wasn't. I was reading something else. Do you have the dollar amount what we're saving from last contract?
It is as used.
Right.
So the monthly bill is.
I guess maybe if we can get Patty to give us what we spent 2024, 2025, and then comparison.
Did we have that at the last meeting?
I think
I thought there was something on there at the last meeting.
we paid an $18,000 bill that had been 55,000
Yes.
before.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it was just in the
Thanks, Tyson.
So it's
financial
a
report.
substantial savings.
Substantial savings.
Because I think our black and whites were 18 cents and our colors were almost 30 cents or something like that. So this is
And now they've set the copiers
Hmm.
printing default to black and white
All
instead
black
of
and
default
white,
to
yeah.
color.
so it's a substantial amount of
Yeah,
savings
and,
with the new
and this
contract.
has nothing to do with the contract, but we're also instituting paper cut, which will track who's making the copies, when the copies are being made, and also allows some privacy too, because when somebody hits print and they aren't there, they walk up to the copier, they put their PIN number in, and then
We use that at Keystone.
yeah, then it comes out.
I make a motion to approve the Cardinal Copier contract as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion from Michael, second from Tyson to approve the Cardinal Copier contract as submitted. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Lake Village concrete bid was for, we discussed, we're gonna go with Madison, right?
Yes.
Madison was $4,127.49. The other one was $6,250 for CNS concrete.
Move to approve.
The Madison.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second.
Stephanie, did you second that?
Tyson can have it.
Okay. It was like a mouse over there. I could barely hear. Diane made the motion. Tyson seconded for approval of the Madison Specialized Service concrete bid for $4,127.49. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. And then we have the out-of-district transfer student requests. We have, what's that? Are these outgoing or incoming?
They're coming.
They're incoming? Thank you.
Yes.
So we have 5 transfers incoming for Lake Village Elementary. We have 3 transfers incoming for Lincoln Elementary. We have 2 transfers incoming for Morocco Elementary, and we have 3 incoming transfers from North Newton Junior Senior High. These all from like the same families or multiple families? You
They
know,
all come from different
mixed bag.
places, it looks like. There's all the
nice.
Crown Point, Kankakee Valley, South Newton, Tri-County.
This is an easy one to approve.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion from Melissa, seconded by John to approve the out-of-district transfer student request. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. High school culinary classroom kitchen hood quote. This was for K and Cleans Incorporated for $45,950 or Area Sheet Metal Incorporated for $50,200. Does anybody know what the teacher or Corey recommended? Which one?
Hey, clean.
Okay.
And reason being, they were recommended by the hood inspectors and the people who are doing other work for us, but they also came in with the lower bid as well. Making good progress on this. Hoods are not cheap.
I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. It'd be nice.
Is that your motion, Tyson?
Yeah, I'll move to approve. I'm
second it.
excited. I think it's
Hey,
great.
whenever my board members speak up about excited, I'm like that. Did you just make a motion? That's
Yeah,
very
I don't know. I'm excited for Mrs. Blasco and the kids, and
She makes the best cookies.
it does. She's great.
All right, motion for Tyson, second by Melissa to
Sorry.
approve. No, you're going discussion. I'm already get to it. To approve the Cake Clean Incorporated $45,950 proposal discussions. How great it is.
Okay, this is great. It's when we're putting money where we should be putting
Right.
money for the kids, and it's good. I
Excellent.
know the kids. She puts a lot of stuff on Facebook, and looks like the kids do have a lot of fun in there, and they learn a lot, and this is wonderful.
Any other discussions?
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Well, and she's also going to help out at the elementary level that if for example, Lake Village has their Me and My Guy dance, she will, PTO donates to them for all the supplies, and then the high school kids and Mrs. Blasco make all the sweet treats and then bring it down, and it's always
Nice.
awesome. They're so good.
Okay. Any other further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. the NWEA quote for 12,500. What is this?
Okay, it is our nationally normed achievement test for reading and math. Kids take it fall, winter, and spring, and it helps us track their progress. It aligns really closely with iLearn, so we can see how a kid's going to do on the state testing. I did bring this directly to action, and I discussed that with the officers because it lapses before July 1st, and this was one of the things that we've got me as the contact now, but Julie was the contact, so it was out there looking like spam.
Mm-hmm.
So
this says K through 12 map growth foundation. It says 950 licenses. Do we use this?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the state, Indiana, like,
They,
they do it what, quarterly, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they
fall, winter,
monitor
spring.
where the
Perfect.
kids, yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of our IT discussion.
This
Yeah,
is
no,
part
This
of
stuff we don't use.
well,
this
this
is
is part
not
of
something-
MTSS, if you want
Yeah.
to use
It-
that word.
It allows us, the teachers, to collect the data to see where the kids are.
Yeah.
And
All I want to make sure is that our administrators and our teachers have the resources of the correct stuff.
Yeah.
And not buying 1,000 licenses and only 200 people use it.
Yeah, this is one of those die on the hill purchases.
Perfect. Is there any motion or second to
A
approve?
motion.
second.
Melissa, motion, Tyson second for the NEW contract or $44,000 agreement. No, I'm sorry, 12,500 on the next page already. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Lake Village Playground. This is for $44,418.38. Got a lot more expensive for playground.
That playgrounds are expensive.
Put out dirt, right? Some trees.
The lawyer would disagree.
So to approve.
I'll second.
No, it's a little separate.
Beautiful.
'Cause they have to have their own
Motion from
handle.
Diane, second from Melissa.
No,
Sam.
Sam.
I'm sorry, Sam. Discussion. My question on the discussion, I think Tyson might have asked, but I couldn't hear it all. Is this going to help out with the elementary stuff?
So
Preschool.
this is for the preschool. Preschools have to have a standalone playground, has to have special specifications to it. It is not actual size on the picture, but
I bet that's a very small little clubhouse.
But playground equipment is very expensive for one reason, because it's got to be safety rated and things that are very much different than what I had in the 70s in the elementary school, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for the development.
It is for the development of preschool. Will also be used for the fee-based preschool in the afternoons. Yeah, and it's an investment that will last us for several years.
Will the other kindergartners be able to use it?
No, it is
Okay.
dedicated.
Separated? Okay.
Yeah, dedicated for preschool.
Any other discussions? All those in favor of the Lake Village Playground, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. The employee longevity amendment. This was brought to the finance committee again. Diane, do you remember what it was?
I don't.
Dr. Mike, do you remember what it was?
Yes. We realized there were groups that we had missed with base pay. Those being the food service managers, the 260 secretaries, the part-time custodians, and the health aides.
Yep.
We are the one change on here is part-time custodians. We're making $17 an hour right now. I believe we have 2 in the corporation, and they're doing the exact same work. So we were talking about in the future potentially lowering their hours, raising their pay, but right now many of them are working 7 hours a night, so they should be getting paid.
Is that with the part-time custodials? Because I don't
Yeah.
remember discussing that during our meeting.
What are they getting paid right now?
17 is at their base.
Yeah, but part-time, give that to me again, because I don't, that I'd not remember.
Currently, we have, this is a recommendation too, because we didn't have a base rate for them.
Correct. But I'm
Currently,
saying
our
whether they even get longevity or not.
No.
I remember we discussed.
They aren't qualifying for longevity as a part-time employee, but we didn't have a base rate.
Okay.
It's just
So you're putting a
it's
base
really
rate
big.
in there.
You're just
all
wanting to
you're
put that
doing.
in there.
Yeah, I'm
which
wanting to
is
recommend a base rate
It is
for them
irrelevant and
because we're coming
we're
up on
not
July
getting
1st.
longevity. Because that needs to be clear, because if you see that, then somebody's going to think that the part-time custodial should be getting longevity. That's why I don't agree with putting that in the
Yeah.
longevity statement.
Can I make an amendment suggestion?
Mhm.
Don't call it longevity, call it base rates.
what I'm getting at is the part-time custodial at 1750 is not going to get the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% increase. They're part-time.
Okay, then,
They're not even in this, is what I'm getting at.
okay, then I would recommend an amendment to strike that.
Because we had like 7 or 8 part-times that we did not put in there. There's more than that, but yes. So the food services, which we clarified, manager, we had
Yes.
to fix that.
Yes.
The secretary 260, we had to fix that. And the health aides, did we fix? There was, yeah, that the health aides is the other one.
Health
Because
aides
we
is
had them
one.
under our paraprofessional.
Yeah.
We needed to separate that.
Yeah, and they all come in at a higher rate because of,
And this 1650 and the 18 is based off of the Excel spreadsheet that Patty, you and I, and Diane, and maybe Melissa was where we pulled that from,
Yeah.
the lowest paid at the par.
yes.
I have not looked at. Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the items 2, food service managers, $18, secretary, 260 at 25. There will be no part-time custodial, 1750. So that's stricken from this, and health aides at 1650 to be added to our longevity calculation.
Second.
Motion from Michael, seconded from Melissa on the longevity amendments discussion. I would just like to thank everybody. Keeps coming up with things that we're fixing. As we said, it's a working document, so appreciate that. And we're going to get people paid in.
First pay of the new period will
I
be
know
when the
that's on
longevity
everybody's
pay comes, and then July 1st is when people's base rates begin. And
And I know Patty and Missy and them have been working on clarifying date of hires,
yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah, Hannah and Patty and I sat down for quite a while last week and went through those.
Perfect. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Excellent. Transportation director, CT instructor. This is for person that's already accepted the job, but as
Yes.
Tyson has brought up, and we need to make sure we maintain, is that we approve these contracts and also their job description. So this breaks down the salary that we agreed upon with the split with the base salary of 63,000, and then the split for the CTE of 21,000 for the classes that are taught, and any other things that were broken in that.
A motion to approve?
I'll second it.
Motion from Melissa, seconded by John, to approve the transportation diesel instructor Marion, is it Toll? Toll, effective June 1st, 2026. Discussions.
It says important contingency on compensation, contingent upon districts successfully maintaining, offering, and delivering the approved diesel CTE classes program for students during the 26-27 school year. So we're going to get this for this year.
Yes.
What if we don't? Is he getting cut
You had
21,000
double,
off the
you had
salary?
double-digit kids come out for call out.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna have a problem filling it.
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Brooks will get the
If,
funding,
Oh,
right?
yes,
if
Tyson,
people
it's-
don't
yes.
try to obstruct it,
That's why
then
it's
we'll be
split.
good.
He gets that for this and then that for that.
Yeah.
Which
That would
makes
be on
sense.
the bottom.
But yeah, we've had a massive
Okay.
outpouring. We can cover the
I
Okay.
mean,
that.
I don't,
unless he leaves.
I just want to make sure.
This
that
way in the
it-
future,
so he
if you have
doesn't come
somebody
in
else
and
come.
say,
Right.
I didn't agree to that, or
No, we,
whatever.
yeah,
And the other thing too, Tyson, it's something, because I know when I've been here for 18 months, people was like, I don't know how so-and-so's got that contract. This now can explain, so if anybody future comes, we have this
is why he's getting
specific
paid
job
this,
and you're
because
getting
this is
specific.
pulled out of
Yeah.
here and there. Okay. Got it.
Perfect. Any other discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. I lost my damn sheet. Do we have anything else on there, or is that it?
No, no.
That's it.
There it is. All right, dang, it's only 8:04. We got anything else for the board members? Meeting. Yes.
I would actually like to say thank you, Dr. Mike, for supporting our vote for the teacher transfers. And I just want to make it clear to everybody that I am my own person and I will vote the way that I want to vote.
And I will,
Everybody
I will say I'm extremely disappointed
Everybody should vote the way they should.
because it's about what's best for the entire corporation, and fiscally being on the finance committee, having teachers knowing that they were teaching a half of a schedule and getting a full pay is extremely disappointing from a finance perspective as supporting the North Newton School Corporation as a whole.
All right. Anything else? Well, thank you all. Thank God the weather passed. Good luck for the rest of our summer. Hope your guys' project's going good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I will motion.
Melissa?
Second.
Tyson? Discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand.